On today's episode, we're going to be analysing Manchester City in great detail. We're going to be going to the tactical pad and having a look at the brand new Pep Guardiola system. We're going to be looking at the heat maps regarding key players for Manchester City. There's data, we've got passing networks, we've got images of note during Manchester City's games this season as well. We'll predict the Villa lineup. We'll mash the two teams together to come up with a tactical game plan of how Aston Villa beat Manchester City. So hope you enjoy the show. Up the Villa. So let's get straight on in there then, and let's analyse Manchester City this season. I think the Premier League is seeing a bit of a shift to 90s, early 2000s, Route 1, direct, long throws, Tony Pulis ball. And I think Pep Guardiola has been at the pinnacle of English football in his tenure at Manchester City, revolutionising the English game on how teams play, how the pyramid plays. We go down to League Two and see teams playing out from the back. And this is all the Pep Guardiola effect. And I actually feel like his system and tactics this season so far are coming into fruition with the direct nature of how teams want to play. Over the years, Pep Guardiola, we've seen right backs inverting. We've seen left backs going into central midfield. We've seen different variations of a Pep Guardiola team becoming quite hybrid. And I'd say so far this season, we've seen the complete opposite to this Pep Guardiola system. It's quite generic, and I think that's quite different, but I think it has in there different elements as this episode goes, different elements of how the league has evolved and how this Pep Guardiola team wants to play and how he's been more defensively resolute. He's thinking about winning games rather than just out-and-out systems. So let's go in there. Let's have a look at what this Pep Guardiola new system is all about then. So his system generically now is a 4-3-3. He's got two wingers who hug a touchline that stay out wide in Savinho and Doku. Out-and-out wingers. Get to the byline, get to attacking progressive situations where they both want to get into those zones. But what we're seeing with the defence is something that I'm quite surprised at, really, when I've started to analyse Manchester City. Normally we see something like this where players go inside and the midfield becomes like this and we leave a two at the back. But so far this season, and what Man City have become, is a little bit more of a horseshoe. So their little horseshoe technique regarding their defenders is we're getting this little horseshoe containing. And I think it's all about stabilising this Manchester City team at the minute. Then what you'll start to see is we're always going to see that single pivot player in there, whether it's Rodri or Gonzalez. He's the one that's sitting in there and protecting. And then we start to make up this front five with Reinders, Foden, Doku, Savinho, and Erling Haaland. And generally, the makeup of that team generally looks like this when Manchester City are attacking, when they are in possession. You are seeing players like O'Reilly or Nunes or Gvardiol, when they are in these areas, kind of being quite central, playing in those zones as well. And I think you kind of get that with central midfielders that are now hybrid in left and right backs. You know, Nunes predominantly has been a central midfielder, but you kind of get him being really comfortable in these areas. O'Reilly, exactly the same. He's comfortable in these areas. And their defence just generally rotates and moves around. It could be Gvardiol, it could be Ait Nouri when he's back fit. So there's different combinations of what they can do. And again, you've seen over the years, you've seen them go with 4 out-and-out centre halves. We've seen players inverting, etc. So it's really interesting to see what this Manchester City team are doing this season as well. And that 3 in midfield are quite important for me because it's all about that midfield balance. Yes, you get the sitter, you get the holder, you get Reinders who can operate, Foden, who can work around these areas, can play out wide at the same time. So getting that balance is key. But I think Erling Haaland as well, his role in the team has changed somewhat as well. You're starting to see Haaland, even when they're up against two centre halves, drifting away, making space the biggest weapon, and having space and that positional awareness is a big weapon because he's able to drop and he's able to time his runs. He's able to kind of be more of the striker that he's probably wanted to always be at Man City and be that target player. He goes and finds the space, then he attacks the space, and he's just been absolutely lethal. So we'll talk about Haaland quite a lot on this episode as well. So that's basically their system and how that they've been playing. Now, we can go to some images now and we can really start to see what this system actually looks like within game state modes, etc. So here we've got Manchester City. This is against Everton. So I've used the most relevant game. I've got some images from the Villarreal game at the same time as well. So this highlights what their system is very early on in the game. I think when you're looking at teams early on in a game and when they've got possession, it's good because you generally see the makeup of what the manager wants to see from them. So here we go. We've got two wide players who both want to attack and get into that area. They'll do it all day, absolutely all day. If the first one and the first dribble doesn't go off, the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, we keep going, we keep rinsing, we keep repeating, we keep trying to wear the opposition players out, and they'll just keep doing it all day. Then what we can see is we can see in full force the horseshoe that I'm talking about. So this is the right back, left back, and you've got the two centre halves through there as well. So we can see the horseshoe technique pictured right there. We've got the holding central midfielder. We've got central midfielder, and we've got Erling Haaland, who has dropped deeper and will be in and around that area. So there we can see the images of the positions that they want to get into. Then this now starts to show positions camped in and around the 18-yard box of the opposition. And what we're able to see again, wide player, striker. Then we've got left back, and then we've got that triangle there of the central midfield three. The big thing about this midfield three that it's able to rotate, it's able to break through lines, it's able to find space through the gaps, but we've got the focal point, we've got the two players out wide. So from an opposition point of view, when you're analysing Man City, you can kind of see what they want to get into, the positions that they want to be into. You can see that Everton here are quite narrow, defending the width of the 18-yard box. And then here we've got them on the ball, building out, playing out from the back. And again, what you can see your little horseshoe vibe there. But it's quite flat from a Manchester City point of view. You know, there's not a player that's dropping and going into this area. So again, I imagine when Unai is looking at this, he's going to know that they've got that four at the back. We can also see central midfielder, and then we've got that two central midfielders through there. Everton have gone man for man in that little situation through there as well. So we've built up central areas of the pitch are important. Protecting your wide areas, vitally important. And then the striker, again, you're going to have to defend him well. But again, on the thumbnail, I've got attack the space, and I actually feel like attack the space and defending the space is just as important playing against Manchester City. I'll get into the attacking the space a little bit later on again, but we've got the two wide players, Haaland, central midfielders through here as well. And then they're camped in, zoned in, locked in. But you can start to see where there's going to be space in this Manchester City team. But again, you know, the space here that you've got to really make sure you're watching out for. 1 minute you think you got Haaland, and the next minute he's gone. He's jumped off you and he's away. But here now, we've got areas that really give me great encouragement against playing against this Manchester City team. And you get a chance. I think right now against Man City, you get a chance. You get opportunities. You get moments in a game. But the big thing is, can you be clinical and take them? Because you know that the big Norwegian lad at the other end of the pitch, he's going to be taking his chances. So if he's taking his, we cannot be fluffing and getting into areas where this could be right here an Aston Villa moment, because we've got kind of some similar players to Everton. We've got ball carriers. We've got players like Rodgers. We've got Marlon, etc. We've got McGinn who can dribble. So we've got players that can drive. So here we've got Ndai, but what did I say on the thumbnail? Attack the space. When they're going and camping in the opposition half, you get the space out wide in behind these fullbacks that have come inside a little bit. So there's the space. Can you get in and around that single midfield pivot of Gonzalez, or it's possibly going to be Kovacic with him injured? So can we rat around and get involved in these areas? But you can see that Everton were able to commit players forward, willing runners trying to break through these little lines and get on the end of things as well. So this gives me great confidence with coming up against this Manchester City team. Again, this was given offside. Beto misses, but again, good moment. Somebody picking up the ball. I think it's Ndai, quite central. Little run from Beto. Can he go through those two centre halves? Yes, he can. Gets his strike off. We've got, I imagine that's Drewsbury Hall there as well. So runners running off these Man City players. Can you do it? Areas where you are able to create opportunities and moments. Again, another one during this game, 39th minute. We've got a ball that goes in behind. We've got 1, 2, 3 runners running in behind. Big distances here where there's not much going on for Manchester City. So again, stretch them, attack the space, make the distances quite large for Man City. And that's an element and an area that I think this Villa team can do well in. Now, again, this one was cut out and we had a Doku shot. It was well cut out by Haaland, but again, distance quite large. I mean, the distance between this back four and the single pivot there, you're talking, we got 5 players here and we've got 5 players here. This distance in here, it's quite a big gap. So if we can get into these moments where the distances become quite large, yes, this ball wasn't good enough, but you can see if this ball was actually good enough right here and it went in here, you've got 2 runners here. You've got an overload. So again, commit your players forward, pose problems. Obviously, don't give the ball away here. You give the ball away there, and you're in a bit of a mess here because you've got 5 players that are breaking, and that's what happened. But quality on the ball being a lot better. I think this should give Unai and Aston Villa some real positive thoughts going into this game. Now, Manchester City have been very good in the attacking areas this season, and Erling Haaland has been the guy. He has been brilliant. His game has changed. I've got some of his numbers here so far this season. We've got a goal conversion rate from Haaland of 32.35%, 11 goals with an XG of 8.69. So he is outperforming his XG. He's had 34 shots so far this season and 18 have gone on target. And I really want to touch on Haaland's movement so far this season because he's been brilliant. You know, he's finding and drifting away from central defenders. Normally, you see him getting in a bit of a tear up and a tussle and wanting that battle and pulling shirts, but he's not interested in that this season. He's coming a little bit deeper and it's really working for him. But this goal for me was absolutely brilliant. And his movement, if you're a young lad that's watching this right now, that's playing football, go and watch this clip because the movement is brilliant. You look at this now, and okay, it's an area you don't want to get into. This is, you just do not want to do this against Man City. You cannot allow this situation to happen. But look at this area here now. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, do you know what? These 3 players shut out Haaland, stop him from getting the ball, kind of try and man mark him. But Haaland's run, it's class. I imagine most strikers now are just going to do that. They're just going to attack that space, but not Haaland. Watch what he does. It's absolutely brilliant. He comes back, and it's this little subtle movement of coming back into here now, there, where he's stepped back that creates the space, and he's done it. He's created the space. His movement is sensational. And look now, from a moment where it looked like Everton were quite comfortable, he's now got space to attack the ball. How has he made this space? You know, how has he been able to look like he's going to drive? He's peeled off round, attacked the space, created the space for himself now, and now he's able to just get that ball into that area, attack the ball, and he scores. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Haaland. It is top centre forward play, and he absolutely smashes it. And you take a look at his shots so far this season. Look where all his shots are coming from. Only one shot has come from outside the box. So again, it's okay in the box to feel like you're defending him well, but you've got to make sure you are stopping the crosses that are going to him. These are really, really important things. Stop the supply to Haaland because he finds the space in the box really well. Konsa's really good at defending the space in the box, so I'm quite confident in that element of it. But a lot of shots inside the box and there's goals. And I think if we take a look at where his goals are coming from, it's actually coming from Emi Martinez's right-hand side. That's his strong side for me. His left-hand side, low bottom left, is his weakest side. So the fact that a lot of his shots and his goals are going in the right-hand side actually kind of pleases me with the Emi Martinez element to this at the same time as well. So Haaland is the one. You've got to stop Haaland. But again, Villarreal, they were 2-0 down, but they put it on them and they started to create chances. They had numerous opportunities during this game to get back in it. And, you know, at 2-1, momentum, crowd, anything can happen. So, again, you get given a slight chance against this Manchester City team. So, again, another one, ball in the box, commit players forward. And those are the attacking elements that you can get against this Manchester City team. Now, I just want to highlight now some of the Manchester City play and what they actually do with the ball. I think we'll first just have a quick little summary of the heat maps, and you'll be able to see again the positions that they get into. So you've got defenders, the right back stepping inside, left back stepping inside, the little horseshoe shape, central midfielder sitting, winger on the right-hand side, look at him getting into the 18-yard box, wing on the left-hand side, doing exactly the same. Two central midfielders playing left and right, and then Haaland attacking that box. So those are the zones of each player and where they're going to get into. So let's have a look at the passing networks then, and we'll kind of merge some Villa players in to see what we can look like at the same time as well. So you've got your 4 at the back. You've got number 14, the central pivot for Manchester City. You've got Erling Haaland, 2 wide players, really high, and then the other 2 central midfielders that are quite central at the same time. Big thing for Villa is with the shadow striker blocking the single pivot of Manchester City. So number 14, striker, can we block out that passing lane? And then you're going to have your double pivot for Aston Villa in and around that area through there as well. You'll have your wide right player coming inside and the left player coming inside at the same time as well. Can we keep it quite compact, quite tight, and be very disciplined in there? That is where there's going to be a big tactical makeup during this game as well. Big threat coming out here as well. That's the big threat out wide that we're going to have to make sure we are defending really well as well. And then you can kind of see the Everton network, and kind of similar to what Villa would want to try and do, make sure you are quite compact in that area and blocking out those central players from Manchester City. So those are some of the tactical elements. We'll have a look at the Villa team in a second, and we'll also have a look at a tactical mashup of the game. But before we do that, we're going to have a look at some of the numbers for Manchester City this season. So, highest shot conversion rate in the league of 16.9%. Highest goals, 17. Possession, 59%, and Villa are having 56.1%. They have the lowest passing forward rate in the Premier League, 26.8, and they have the highest for final third passes. They've made 1,243, 995 are successful with 80% success rate. Villa passing forward was at 30.2%, so around 4% higher than Manchester City. They've conceded 6 goals. They've conceded 77 shots on their goal, with only 24 being on target. All of City's goals conceded have come from inside the box. City have scored no goals from set pieces. That's good because we're not defending them very well at the minute. And they haven't conceded a goal from a set piece either. So those are some of the numbers from a Manchester City point of view. If we now go and have a look at the lineup that I have picked for this game from a Villa point of view, it looks like this. This is my Aston Villa lineup against Manchester City. It is Martinez, Digne, Pau, Konsa, Cash, Onana, Kamara, Rodgers, Watkins, McGinn, Gesson. If Digne is out, then it's going to be Maatsen. So that's the lineup that I will go with. And let's take a look now at the big tactical game plan of what I expect to happen during this game. Well, we know that there are going to be times where Manchester City will be getting into this situation right here. So if we just move everybody back. So Villa will be in and around these areas. So this is the makeup of where you expect players to be from a Manchester City point of view during this game. And Kovacic will be there. Diaz will be there. So Villa will be looking to be quite compact, quite organised. And we're going to have to be in this situation through here. Now, the big areas for me, from an Aston Villa point of view, where we are going to want to really exploit and create moments, are these 3 big areas. In behind the left back, right back, and in between the 2 central defenders for Manchester City. Do I think Man City are going to have all the ball? Yes. Are they comfortable of wanting all the ball? They don't have to have all the ball at the minute. They're happy to let the opposition have a bit of the ball sometimes, throw you into a false sense of security, let you grow into it, have a bit of momentum, boom, you're losing, or they've scored, etc. But the big moments for Villa are, can we attack these 3 areas of space? And we've got players that can do that. We know Ollie Watkins can exploit a 2 at the back very well. For me, he's elite at doing this. We've seen it against Bayern Munich. We've seen it against Man City. We've seen it against Arsenal over the seasons. He's elite at running in behind. And we're going to need him to be able to do that again. We're going to need runners. We're going to need runners to be able to dribble and carry the ball. Those images that I showed you of distances with Man City, we want Rodgers in those zones, dribbling and carrying the ball. That's important. We also need to be tight, organised, compact with a good double pivot. That's why I believe Kamara and Onana. I think I'm going Kamara, Onana because of height, physicality, defensive awareness. I think that overrules quite a lot. Manchester City have got a pretty tall team. Again, these little nuances count for something. Could go Bogard, but I just like the sense of Onana with a bit of physicality. He does need to show it more. He needs to bring it. He needs to bring the A game. Pau Torres, very important in this game. Kamara's protection, vitally important. Passing through those lines, important. Keeping hold of the ball, important. Not losing it, important. And I've gone with Gesson and Cash for me defensively on that right-hand side. Very, very important. Can Gesson dribble with the ball, carry the ball out for us? That's something that I'm after in this game. And I think John McGinn playing off Watkins is quite important because he can drop into that central midfield area and get in and around Kovacic, and we know Kovacic generally says he struggles against McGinn, so that's important. Now, we could mix it up slightly from a Villa point of view and go with, say, for example, McGinn on the right and Marlon up top. Again, I actually don't mind that element of it. I think what you could get from that is both of them splitting, setting that trap, opening that space, something that we've seen as well. But I would just worry a little bit with Marlon keeping hold of the ball. We cannot have something in this game where it goes up top, it comes back, and we keep going through that cycle all the time. That can't happen for me. So I think I'd go Gesson and McGinn. I think that would be the combination I would go with. You guys could have different combinations, that's fine. But I think tactically, that's the areas where I'm looking to really hurt this Manchester City team. I mean, Haaland, you cannot give him ample amounts of opportunities. We're going to have to watch the movement and the rotations from a Man City point of view. But I think I'd like to just see us ask some serious questions over this Manchester City team. We've been able to do that over the past, and that's really cool. So let's see if we can do it again. Let's see if we can win this game. I'm excited. I'm not really focusing on go-ahead Eagles. I think it's a completely different game. It has its own challenges. We'll rise to the occasion. So all in all, I think I've done a good little tactical analysis piece on both teams, what we can expect from Man City, Aston Villa, etc. And I've got to say, like, the response that I'm getting at the minute to these episodes, especially off opposition fans, has been really, really good. So if you have got this far and you have enjoyed it, then make sure you're hitting that like button. Try and hype the episode up. If you're an opposition fan, subscribe to the channel. Villa fans, subscribe. Get on the journey with us. So cheers, everyone, for all of your support. Up the Villa.